welcome back, fellas, to a very spooky episode of The Wrong Side of Schizogram. Today's subject, Ecology Homestones, an audio-visual noise project started in 2020 by the FPPC, providing some of the best ear rape and disturbing visuals this side of Instagram. And don't worry if you are already lost. Brace yourself, it's only going to get worse. Join me as we uncover the dark secrets, story, and at the end we'll kind of discuss some of the real-world aspects of the project, even if they are still a bit vague. I think we should start by laying out the basic story behind the, audio-visual noise project. Ecology Homestones is about carrots. Yes, carrots. Beginning in 1778, a competitive gnome named Cheapskate initiated a campaign of torment upon 8 very sleepy carrot farmers, all of whom were coincidentally named Robert. The playful assault fell upon the Roberts in the form of 8 violence-based challenges. The winner would be crowned as the Bride of Ouchie. For the rest, an eternity of unimaginable wickedness. Imagine a long, wet floor of endless tile, the grout lousy with the innumerable crawling misfortunes of birthday. This is directly from the source, folks. No speculation here, by the way. They also provide us with a handy little outline depicting the campaign of torment, which is shows the past and future, Cheapskate, the campaign of torment, and the 8 Roberts. Okay, did everybody get all that? That will be on the upcoming test. There will be a test at the end of this video. But a story is no good if it doesn't have some epic and wacky characters. So, Cheapskate is a gnome, but not really. You see, Cheapskate is a gnome in the way that your PS2 is your DVD player. Their words, not mine. Basically, the in-world lore of the characters is written by a fictional agency called the FPPC, the California Fair Political Practices Commission, I hear you ask? Don't be foolish, alright? And to be honest, I actually don't know what it stands for because it's never elaborated on. So, basically, the fictional company within the world writes the lore on the entities within the world. Kind of like the FPCPS, CSP, PSP, SPC, I think is what it's called. So they write the lore for the entities within the world, and then it is fed to us via the narrator, or Ecology Homestones itself. It's, we'll get into that later, folks. We'll get into that later, don't worry. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we don't have a very reliable narrator. They comment at the end of Cheapskate's lore blurb that they haven't finished the book that they were sent about this by the FPPC, that they tried to read it, but they just gave up. So their understanding about what Cheapskate is very limited, along with the rest of the characters. So, now that that's all out of the way, what is Cheapskate? From what I understand, he is an earth elemental. That's right, folks, an earth elemental, which is, how people understand gnomes, I guess, in this world lore. A gnome is equal to an earth spirit, an earth elemental. It is also kind of implied, on the Instagram side at least, that Cheapskate is behind most of the reels. He's the one telling the story, so obviously he wouldn't be forthcoming about his background. If we're talking about in-lore situations here, like he has this animatronic hand thing that he uses. I think it's meant to be the actual project creator's hand that he's mimicking. He pokes Robert 3. Farms Robert 3 for cubes. Eats cubes. Don't worry, we'll get into the cubes later. You guys will understand the cubes in Robert 3. He plays music. He's a maestro. And wait, what the heck is he doing here? Oh, hell nah. This little nigga's peddling merch. Okay, look. I'm gonna say it. Cheapskate has some motion, folks. He has some motion. Quite a bit of motion for a gnome. Or I mean Earth Elemental. But clearly Cheapskate is supposed to be the main antagonist when it comes to the project. But what about our 8 heroes? Our 8 Roberts? What about them? Let's get into it.
Can you feel her touching your legs? Can you feel her touching your legs?
Robert 1. Witness. Assailant. Stabbed a god 4 times. Isolated in a flotation tank. And that'll do it for Robert 1, folks. A round of applause for Robert 1. In all seriousness, some of the Roberts have nothing at all written about them, which I'm guessing implies that one of the Roberts that don't have any lore about them is the winner, is the bride of Ouchie, whatever that means. Fucking millennials. And then some of them also have very little written about them, such as Robert 1, and a few others that we'll get to. So yeah, Robert 1. Stabbed a god 4 times. I also think when I was writing this, I was pretty much done, and then I came across a couple of more. I came across some reels with Robert 1 in them, supposedly. Okay, because it's and the lore regarding Robert 1, folks. It's very recent. Very recent. It's like in the past couple of weeks they've done a whole bunch of Robert 1 lore. There is a reel of someone keeping the theater clean for Robert 1, who is apparently a towering obelisk of salt that once owned a knife and saw things happen through an open window. Leaves a lot to the imagination. I don't know what we're seeing here. This appears to be an obelisk of some sort. So maybe this is Robert 1. I thought he was suspended in a flotation tank. But folks, that's pretty much all there is for Robert 1. I don't know who the god is that he stabbed 4 times. Was it Cheapskate? It might have been Cheapskate. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. So let's move on to our next Robert. Robert 2. Robert 2 is summarized by a single word in the Mother Names article, driver.
There's something inside you. It's hard to explain.
Robert 2 appears in a few videos on the Instagram page, one where we get a little bit of lore, making it seem like he is of an infinite number, or a hive mind, perhaps. He says, there's two of me, and then there's two of him, and then he says there's two of me again, and then it shows several of them, not two. I can count, folks. So he's a liar. Another shows him making coffee with Robert 5 for some reason. This is just, a demonstration. Hold on just a second, fellas. Jarvis, can you enhance that? Yes. Zoom, yes. Zoom in, yep. Okay, excellent. Fellas, it kind of appears that Robert 2 is in fact not Ryan Gosling, but instead an obese white woman in her late 20s. More to ponder and think about for later, fellas. Keep that one in the bank. That one might come up on the test later. Thank you, Jarvis. That'll be all. But yeah, I want to apologize for that misinterpretation. I thought for sure it was, literally me. But other than that, Robert 2 is another one that doesn't get much lore. So let's move on to a much more prominent figure in the Robert verse, Robert 3.
With my little hands in the dirt, and my feet in the dirt, and my neck in the dirt. He calls to me, "Whoa!"
Reduced, like a balsamic glaze, to stumps after failing to feed a bloodthirsty slab of limestone. Communicates through dreams, at least according to people who dream and therefore aren't to be trusted. Robert 3 is this cute little stump creature. He's a bit of a wacky fella. He seems to produce Cheapskate's favorite food, something just known as cubes. They like to decube Robert a lot, pulling cubes out of several different orifices. Dude, Robert 3's got it fucking hard, dude. So, and then he shits him out, basically. So Cheapskate is literally eating Robert 3's shit, basically. It's a power move, but it's also kind of degrading and disgusting. Because it's like, you only exist. I only let you exist to shit in my mouth and to torture you. That's literally the only reason you exist, buddy. Oh, fuck. Thought about eating Robert's cubes and I fucking got choked up for a second. There is quite a few reels on their Instagram, just kind of making up some absolutely fire recipes using Robert 3's natural spices and seasonings and, just kind of crushing up cube, reducing the cube. That looks kind of good, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, there is some sort of like Flintstone vitamin inside of Robert 3's cubes. Sometimes it's something different, like sometimes it's like fruit by the foot.
He's not scared of fruit by the foot because he loves fruit by the foot. He wants some fruit by the foot!
And this is obviously no doubt the reason why Cheapskate keeps him and harvests him, because if he's like producing fruit by the foot, Flintstone gummy vitamins, he needs to keep him around. He is an irreplaceable asset, Robert 3 is. But let's get into the more tragic side of Robert 3, because he does a lot of dangling from chains. So imagine this. You're brutally tortured by a gnome. You get so fucked up, you become a stump. And Robert 3 has this weird face looking inward, so you never get to see the outside. You're just looking inside of your own cube producing chambers. Then you're subjugated to even more torture because you get harvested for sustenance like an animal, all while you're just wriggling around in your tiny flesh prison begging for death. And if you do get a break from Cheapskate, you get hung up on stage like a piñata while your auditory senses get raped over and over again by Robert 5, dude. When Robert 5 starts fucking cranking his stick, and we'll see it later in the video, folks, don't worry. When Robert 5 starts cranking his stick, you better cover your fucking ears or remove your headphones, fellas. The horror, folks, that I just described, the absolute horror.
Take off a sock and get inside. Let's try that left foot first. Is the pit widening? The soil accommodates. Farmers understand the soil. Gnomes understand the soil. That's one foot in. Let's do the other. It's okay to laugh. You're wearing the earth like a big shoe. The widening soil is your big silly shoe.
No, Robert 3, my socks will remain on at all times. Thank you. Robert 3 is by far the most tragic character within the series. But let's see what else the other Roberts have to offer. Robert number 4. Nothing for Robert 4, folks. However, I do have this Ouija board that I can try to contact him with. I can try to reach out on the other side. Okay, Robert 4, are you here with us? Are you in the room? Oh my gosh, folks, he is in the room. Robert 4 is in the room. Okay, Robert 4, what should the viewers watching this video do right now? LIKENDSUBSCRIBE. Oh my gosh, guys. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe right now if you guys are enjoying the video. Well said, Robert 4. If you guys agree with Robert 4, you should like and subscribe. But, let's get back into some Roberts with some lore. Let's go ahead and go on to Robert 5. Robert 5, immortal, and starved through food temperature manipulation. Related, Cheapskate's 4 peppercorn eyes can control the shape and temperature of salt. When Robert 5 leaves food sitting out, instead of getting cold, it gets progressively hotter and hotter. This is a rare instance of something called magical inconvenience. So Robert 5 he's kind of the main character. I think he's like the main character because this is who the creator of this whole project dresses up as when they do live shows, and he seems to get a lot more spotlight than everybody else. He's another one of Cheapskate's victims, but he is a lot better off than Robert 3, that's for sure. A lot better off than pretty much all the other Roberts, except for the ones that we don't know anything about, because they're at least like a functioning human being that can crank the stick, even though he doesn't talk or anything. He just kind of gargles. And you know, there really isn't much lore about him. He's just kind of like, I feel like he's just kind of there for the creator to dress up almost. There's hardly anything about him besides him, you know, appearing in the Mother Names video as sort of a torturer, I'd imagine. Shows up alongside Robert 3 most times, being, you know. So the lore with him right now is that he has been replaced by a salt and pepper simulacrum for punishment, you know, because he did something wrong to Cheapskate, that little bastard, folks. Sometimes he's hanging out in the woods with Robert 3, you know, just hanging. And he does crush one of Sarah Sherman's, aka Sarah Squirm's, stand-up comedy routines.
You guys, welcome to the stage, my dear friend, Ecology Homestones. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. You are deeply calm, deeply.
And you know, I'm gonna be honest, folks. I'm about to go on a rant. We're about to have a rant here, folks. So, if you're wondering who that is, don't worry. You're not alone. I had to look her up. I clicked on her Instagram profile, and then it kind of led me down this rabbit hole, which was really weird. But she's a pretty big name that's tied to Ecology Homestones. And she's aware of the project because she mentions them by name. So she is a self-proclaimed comedian. And, you know, like me too, folks, me too. She's also a Saturday Night Live alumni. Me too. No, I'm just kidding. So I watched some of her stuff and some of the Saturday Night Live sketches with her in it, and they were shit. Shocker to absolutely no one. Fuck Robert 5 for being friends with her. Robert 5 has, by my calculations, folks, approximately 0 motion.
Broke nigga alert. 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 Broke nigga alert.
Robert 5 is a motionless nigga that likes to produce commercials that have been turned into ear rape. He hangs up my motherfucker Robert 3 like a piñata, and he is also friends with Sarah Squirm. I wanted to add a little bit of spice to Robert 5, so I looked into Sarah Sherman, and holy shit. 5 minutes into her stand-up, not even that, you know, that's being generous. I think I was like 2 minutes in or something. I wanted to throw myself off of a building, folks. No wonder she was a perfect fit for SNL.
Excuse me, you guys hear me, it's fine, you guys get it. Yeah, I'm a Jew. Do we have any Jews in here? Any Jew? Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous. Look at that Jew. It's a hot little Jew. It's a great. You guys Googled me. That's really.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's just a crazy joke to make. She's, you know, I was like, how did she get into SNL? Oh, I see, I get it. Haha. So, let's talk about microplastics. I like scented candles and chewing pop tabs and water bottle lids. I love microplastics, folks. Okay, geez. Sorry, folks. Got a little carried away there. Let's talk about Robert 6. Oh, hold up. Robert 6 has zero lore, folks. So let's try to contact him with the Ouija board. Robert 6, are you here with us, Robert 6?
I'm thinking of a random color that I want you to see, but before receiving it, calm your body and relax with me. Breathe in.
Whoa, Coach Monarch? I didn't know your first name was Robert. I thought I was supposed to be asking the questions here, Robert Monarch, but I guess you can go ahead. Sure, I'm down to play. Okay.
Allow your mind to receive the frequency of the color that is coming through my mind's eye. The first impulse is the most accurate. And on the count of 3, I will share what I am seeing.
I'm gonna say
1, 2,
Tyrion
3.
purple.
Green.
Fuck!
If you got it.
I was so close though. I was close. Don't doubt it, folks. I was actually pretty close, fellas. You can't, you know, you can't doubt me on that. Yeah. Okay, shut up. Get out of here, Robert 6. This episode is about demons, not starseeds, buddy. Okay, let's move on to another big player in the lore, Robert 7.
Please place both hands upon your throat and repeat after me for the Ecology Homestones Pledge of Mercy. I, the strangled audience, solemnly vow to maintain absolute control in the face of morbid splendor. And though I may never walk again, I'm even faster when I'm crawling.
Integrated into a vast fungal network after discovering the concept of ideas. Slowly, because I am slow and move slowly, I am reconstructing his body into a spherical enclosure. The new sphere will condense his previous visible forms of tubes, tendrils, and flaps into one easy-to-understand guy. My goal here and everywhere is unrivaled clarity. So again, we've got kind of the fourth wall break, or whatever wall break it is, when it comes to the narrator. So aside from that, Robert 7 is kind of at the forefront of the newer videos. He's getting a lot of lore recently. But a lot of the lore is really just digging him up. Just digging up his pieces scattered throughout the world, which seem to, kind of point towards the other pieces of Robert 7. And, every piece is more disgusting than the last. For instance, I think I have that Robert 7 in my pants. Am I right, fellas? Right. Well, anyway, once the pieces are gathered, the sewing of Robert 7's enclosure begins. And it's a freaky looking thing, fellas. No doubt this enclosure is being used for Robert 5's sick pleasures. I mean, look at that nose. Look at that smile. And as much as Robert 5 and 3 lead the show, the only one so far that is shown to speak is Robert 7. So the narrator calls him round and irritating, and gay and retarded. Nah, I added those last parts. But, Robert is the only one that really talks. He has a couple of times where he narrates stuff.
Later, or maybe 3, or something, a different thing is happening, and is tangentially related to that other stuff I said. You need to know this. Didn't your friends tell you? You see, there's something out to get you. And it's just as stupid as you are.
And I believe that he is used for communication with the audience, obviously, because all the other Roberts don't speak. And he's just kind of, he's just saying some babble sometimes. Usually it's just the synopsis of the plot. Sometimes he says something else, like when they're taking the pledge. But that's really it. And he also is another Robert with approximately zero motion. He is completely stationary, being supported by a fat rod of flesh that is jammed in his ass. That's right, he is suffering here, fellas. Someone please think of the children. Let's move on. Let's go to our final Robert and see what he's up to. Robert 8. Robert 8 is another Robert that doesn't have any information about him. See, it's blank. It's blank, folks. So let's consult the Ouija. Robert 8, are you here with us? Robert 8, come in, Robert 8.
If you walk in the door
and
she's met
Kurt,
you there,
Kurt, just stop, dude.
embrace her.
Okay, this thing is fucking broken. I'm
Hold
getting rid
her
of this
tight.
shit. I'm getting rid of this Ouija board. It's broken.
And
Robert
then turn
8.
her and press
Kurt,
her
I
up
know your
against
first name
the
is
door.
Kurt. All right, buddy? You're not Robert.
She's wanting your
Get this
attention.
trash out of
So
here.
make sure you give her some attention.
Let's take a look at some of the lesser known characters in the lore instead, now that we're done with our Roberts. Lamok. In July of 2023, I saw a skinny man floating in a tub without disrupting the water, as if he were a digital image. He told me he could show me the places that are normally out of reach, because he knows the way. I could see lines of potential growing from his body and splitting apart. I followed him, floating along a path around unseen obstacles until we reached a vibrant purple town, silhouetted against a harsh red horizon. He told me there was no life there, and that it was that way because of him. As he spoke, I saw a person on a bicycle in the distance. I lost my grip on the setting, and the world dissipated around me. Later on, I found myself outside of a train station, and I understood his name to be Lamok. I am of the belief this was a real communication from a real entity, though I dislike that word for its spooky connotations. I personally find Lamok and his name to be comforting. I offer this name to you like a foreign currency. You probably don't want it, and you will likely forget it's in your wallet. But if you ever find yourself in a new situation where it is useful, you will be indebted to me in a way that you cannot begin to comprehend. So as far as I can tell, this ugly freak on this used napkin is Lamok. I'm not entirely sure who Lamok is, and there is really only two other characters besides him that are just briefly mentioned. Two beings mentioned in Cheapskate's lore, the Sphere of Malkuth and Sandalhan. Sandalhan, the Archangel. We call him Sandalhan here, folks. Call him Sandalhan. Obviously, just an artifact of Malkuth is mentioned, it's the sphere or whatever, so it's not actually the character. Or, I'm assuming it's a character. And not much else on Sandalhan. He appears to be the direct counter to Cheapskate, mentioning that Sandalhan likes music while Cheapskate doesn't, and Sandalhan's angel numbers are 0 and 9, and Cheapskate is doing his thing with 1 through 8, so that is another piece of lore thrown in the mix, although these three haven't seen much action as of now. So let's move on to some more intricate pieces of lore. Some of the gaps, filling in the gaps, folks. Weeping venom. Judging by the looks of it, I've got quite a bit of weeping venom myself, folks, you know what I'm saying? Weeping venom appears to be secreted from Robert 3 and the main parts of Robert 7 specifically. It appears that the main use of the venom is for molding the skin patches that are sewn together to create the casing for Robert 7. However, it does seem to have some secondary uses. For example, it makes a pretty damn good nighttime beverage, folks. Milk me, Robert 5. Milk my venom. Milk my venom. Milk my venom. But maybe a more prominent use when it comes to the story. Weeping venom seems to facilitate the growth of cubes in humans, or in flesh in general. What does this mean? Well, the Roberts did used to be humans, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as we know. So it's not that far of a stretch to say we are all possible producers when it comes to contacting the weeping venom. There are a few reels where the storyteller comes in contact with the weeping venom, and then they start growing a cube in their wrist. There are also some random flesh nuggets that can be seen being cut open and harvested for cubes. I don't think they're really a part of Robert 7. I think they're just random chunks strewed about with the weeping venom and cubes inside. Let's talk about the theater. So the theater is kind of a part of the lore, I think. They do a lot of... I think this is kind of where the lore intersects with the live shows when it comes to the theater. And there are a fair number of reels showing Cheapskate in the theater, just doing random stuff or turning off Robert 7's box.
Coincidentally named Robert. This playful assault fell upon the Roberts in the form of a violence-based challenges. The winner would be crowned as the bride of Alchie. For the rest, an eternity of...
And then the creator is cleaning up the theater for Robert 1 as he sits on the stage, watching ominously. There are also these little devices that are attached to the seats with headphones, and I believe they're a little piece of Robert 7 attached to them, and he kind of narrates the happenings on stage as he is the only Robert able to speak. Or at least he, gives the audience some context. At least that's my headcanon, folks. It's all pretty vague, really. Just the initial story has kind of been laid out, and the rest of it I'm kind of using my mega huge brain to figure out, folks. To be honest with you fellas, that's all there really is when it comes to the lore. So let's talk about the project when it comes to the real world. So we already talked about the Sarah Sherman thing, so obviously whoever is running Ecology Homestones is very well connected. With a Long Island Jew comedian on your side, I mean, how could you go wrong, really?
I'm a Long Island Jew. And
They also claim to have recorded stuff with a guy named Tim Kalpakis, a writer for The Birthday Boys, Between Two Ferns, Comedy Bang Bang, Dig Man, etc., etc. I know you're probably thinking, well, what's Dig Man? I've kind of heard, maybe you've heard of Between Two Ferns. Actually, I think that's all I've really seen, but I don't even think I've seen that. I think I just heard of it. But I watched the commercial for Dig Man that he had on his Instagram. It's like this shit animation. You know what? Fuck it, dude. Who's hiring these people? Who's hiring them? Alright? Also, if you scroll back far enough on Ecology Homestones Instagram, you can actually see the creator building Robert 3 and 5 before the building was a part of the lore, like with Robert 7. And as for the creator, they have done some interviews for articles in Flood, Bandcamp, and Clang. Yeah, I've never heard of those articles either, but, it really doesn't go over anything regarding the lore that we haven't already covered, but it does give the creator a little bit of context. It gives some of their inspirations that caused them to start the project and, you know, whatnot. They just go by the moniker F, by the way. F. What an edgy name. And I don't know why they do this, considering I'm pretty sure, you know, their face with a mask can be seen, you know, mostly on Instagram. If you scroll back far enough, I'm pretty sure that's the creator right there. I believe it is this transgender right here, officer. And it's kind of funny, this whole time I thought the creator was like a woman, like a significantly older woman because of the vascularity in their hands. But if you go back far enough, you see that this is a guy. You see the hairy arms, the veiny hands, the beefy calves, folks. You cannot deny it. This is a man who likes to wear nail polish, folks. Case cracked. And with that being said, I would like to dedicate this video to the trans community. Thanks for all you guys do. I'll see you guys next time.